think that Elon Musk's cooperation and/or technical relationships with other countries is worthy of being looked at. Whether or not he is doing anything inappropriate, I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that worth being looked at. But that's all I'll say. There's a lot of ways. All right. Think that.
I find the phenomenon to be incredibly interesting because the moment I started watching American politics, it was 2015. And what I noticed is that almost every single rich, connected person found it beyond the pale to support Donald Trump. So you have actors, people in the media, everybody was either mocking, laughing, ridiculing, or just absolutely hating Donald Trump. And the reason this was interesting is because up until that point, they loved him. If you watch any footage before he decided to run for office, they really liked the guy, especially in New York. But for some reason, he decides to run, everyone hates him, he manages to win, and now people absolutely despise him. Now, you do not get this impression by talking with average people. When you communicated with average people, you had some people that liked him, some people that didn't. But the elites, the establishment, the mainstream media, the corporatists, they absolutely despised him. And the reason for it may not be grassroots. Because when you look at someone like Elon Musk, he went through the same thing like Donald Trump. In the beginning, everyone liked him. Everyone was writing only positive things about him, and they really liked what he was doing with SpaceX, and I fucking love science, and all these other websites were like, yeah, well, look, the future is Elon Musk. And in the beginning, it wasn't that he endorsed Donald Trump, he just didn't shit on him as hard as everyone else. And you can see that he's slowly getting marginalized by the elites. You can see that now a couple of negative articles are popping up here and there. And when he actually says positive things about Donald Trump, people go insane and they start treating him as like he's little Donald, as like he's the bad guy. Now when people are talking about the millionaires and the billionaires, they're like, oh, Elon Musk. But when they started to absolutely despise the man, when he became the threat to democracy, is when he bought Twitter and he said he just wants people to be able to speak with each other. That absolutely horrified the living shit out of the elites. Like, what do you mean? Like, our citizens to be able to talk with each other? Like, you want the cattle to communicate? No. Like, every cattle in its own pen, and when they move one to another, we need to listen in. Like, we need to find out what they're communicating. Like, can you imagine the politician not knowing what you're talking about? That is insanely dangerous to their democracy. The worst invention that has ever been created by mankind, the one thing that the Democrats despise the most, is that toy where you have two cups on a string. Like they absolutely go mental about that invention because they can't moderate it. They can't listen in. They do not know what's being communicated. It's just like, you can't do that to a politician. So they really hate Elon Musk. And, you know, seeing Joe Biden saying that, it's not a good look, especially now that the SEC is looking into Elon Musk. And on top of that, you know, Brazil cracks down on him. And notice that not a peep from America. I mean, America is sending aid to Brazil. You think that they would be upset about the way that Brazil is treating an American company? But no. You know, America was absolutely livid. Joe Biden, especially when Uganda, of all places, decided to terminate Twitter. But at the time, Twitter was run by Jack Dorsey. I mean, like, come on. That was a prestigious company. But now they don't say anything about Brazil. They're not saying what they said about Uganda. I mean, with Uganda, they were incredibly concerned about human rights violations, free speech, freedom of expression. How can a government crack down on the rights of the citizens? With Brazil, not a peep. Very interesting. But what's also interesting is Joe Biden, you know? Well, there are other ways to get him. And now it seems that the U.S. government is heavily investigating all of Elon Musk's companies. You know, Joe Biden also said, "Oh, don't worry about the pipeline between Russia and Germany." Like, but like, how can you persuade Germany to stop the pipeline? Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Relax. We're going to handle it. You know, it's just like not a good look. Not a good look. But you really know that they hate him so much when gaming publications are jumping in, right? Because one of the things that the leftist propaganda does is to try and create the illusion that every single sane and normal people is unhinged about Elon Musk. There's just something about that man. You know, like you never spoke with him, you never talked with him, but you need to hate him. I mean, he doesn't influence your life. You know, unlike the politicians that cause inflation, that raise your taxes, that create additional legislation, which, no, you shouldn't hate those. Like, that's fine. You know, the Green New Deal, like trying to get rid of your gas stove. No, those are the good people. The one that you need to hate is Elon Musk, because he probably really hurt you. He really did bad things to you. What did he do? Well, look, he's bothering astronomers. So now astronomers can't do their job and they can't tell you the information that they're finding out. And there's like so many people, my fucking God, I'm looking at the forum and it's so cringe. It's like, oh, space belongs to humanity. It doesn't belong to Elon Musk. So when, you know, the United States, when Russia, when China, when they launch their satellites into orbit, that's fine. But it's like, oh, this is a private individual. He can't do whatever he wants. The funny fact is, like, first and foremost, he is actually working with astronomers in order to help them still apply their trade. Even though I was posting on Twitter, the astronomers have seen enough. So a lot of unhinged weirdos were really upset. It's like, you don't understand how important it is what they're doing. Right, so like, between the people that are taking picture versus the man launching actual rockets and trying to get to Mars, you're going to side with the people that are taking pictures. I understand. The news article is from a gaming website, by the way. The fuck does this have to do with video games? Nothing. But again, it's the illusion that everyone, right? Everybody hates Elon Musk. He's not blocking the view of the universe. This requires context. It's something to do with radio waves, but they still can use like other means of looking at the universe. But like, let's assume that he would. Like, let's assume that he is actually blocking the view of the universe. You're telling me that some astronomer looking at the sky, after they had decades to look, and they have already charted and mapped most of the things, after all of that, you're telling me that them looking at the sky is more important than some people in the mountains having access to internet? You're trying to tell me that some individuals that are in difficult to reach areas now having access to internet, that is not more important than some random twats looking at the sky when they have other means to look at the sky. I mean, you can literally launch a satellite into orbit, and you can use that satellite to, you know what? Look at the sky, and it probably finds a better image than the people looking at it from Earth. But no one is actually thinking this through. Like, the whole purpose of these articles is to create outrage. And again, sure, maybe Elon is launching more satellites than private companies do. But do you not think that countries launch satellites and over the course of time people would still reach at the same problem? Like in 100 years, if people keep launching satellites, like you have the United States, you got China, you got Russia, you got other countries that develop their own space programs, and if everyone starts launching satellites, like at one point you're going to reach the same problem. I guess this is where we're at. We're going environmentalism into space, huh? Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.